Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Glad you could be here. Welcome to Spooktober, the month where all you want to read is spooky books. Well, okay, maybe not all spooky books, but it's October. Halloween is this month. What else do you have planned? At least read a couple, right? And I've got some great recommendations for you. So let's get to it. The first book I want to recommend to you is It by Stephen King. And this is an obvious choice, so I won't spend too much time on it, but if you've read Stephen King and if you've read It, you know what I'm talking about. If you are looking for a book to reread, it would probably be a good choice if you've read it before. If you've never read It, it's an equally good choice. I'm in the middle of reading it right now, so kind of trudging through it, but I had to recommend it. When people think of spooky and scary stuff, most people are familiar with Pennywise the Clown. They've probably seen the movies or at least heard of Pennywise. And so yeah, it is just an obvious choice of a book to read for October. So pick it up, read it, go see the movies. I saw them, they were fantastic. So yeah. Ocean at the End of the Lane would be my second pick, and I've done a review of it before, so I won't spend too much time on it. But it's written by Neil Gaiman, and it is a fantastic ghost story for the month of October. It's spooky, it's eerie, it's very, very well written, and it just has a way of drawing you into the story. And don't read it with the lights off. I'm just saying. Moving on. Edgar Allan Poe is a top pick for anything spooky and edge of your seat and keeping you up at night and giving you nightmares, all that good stuff, right? So if you are looking for some good short stories and poetry to read in the month of October, Edgar Allan Poe takes the cake. The Raven is one of his best and creepiest, so that would be one you would probably want to start with. And if you only plan to read one, that would be the one to read. But all of his stories are really good, and The Murders in the Rue Morgue is another one that is really good from him. So anything by Poe would be an obvious choice for October. At least it's obvious to me. So, the next book, or series of books that I want to recommend to you is by Jim Butcher. It's the Dresden Files series. It follows Harry Blackstone Copperfield Dresden, who is a private detective in modern-day Chicago, who also happens to be a wizard, and he gets assigned all the supernatural cases that the Chicago PD is not well equipped to handle. And he encounters everything from vampires to demons to werewolves, you name it, he encounters it, and only the magic of Harry Dresden and his cunning and his wit and his animal magnetism is able to handle the kinds of cases that he's assigned. He just seems to be a magnet for all the most foul creatures of the netherworld that you could possibly imagine. So it's a really fun book series to read, but it does get creepy, and so it's a perfect recommend for October. Pick it up, enjoy the books. You'll be glad I told you about them. And finally, last but definitely not least, is a book called The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor LaValle. Now, this is a book that I was not really familiar with, and a lot of people I've talked to are not familiar with it. I've recommended it to a lot of people, and they're like, what is that? I saw it on Amazon first, and then I saw some Goodreads reviews, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that sounds really good. It takes place in jazz era New York, and it follows Charles Thomas Tester. He's a street musician, and he takes care of his father, and he tries to scrimp together all the money he can to keep a roof over their head and food on the table, and is constantly dealing with the curse that seems to catch the eye of all the white people, and causes him to be looked down upon because he is black. And I thought it was a really, really amazing story in terms of how it deals with race. But also, too, it's just really, really creepy and well-crafted. The meat of the story takes place when Tom makes a delivery to a sorceress for someone else, and he ends up catching the eye of the elder gods and gets thrown into a world of magic and darkness, and it's just really, really creepy. This is another one I would not read with the lights off, but it's a short read. It's a short book. It's a novella, so you can easily read it in 4 hours. I know I did, and I would recommend this book out of all the books that I recommended today as the one that you should pick if you're only planning to pick up one of these, because it is just really good. The reason I love how it deals with race is because Lovecraft was a notorious racist, just a despicable racist. And I mean, racism in itself is despicable, but this guy, from what I understand, he took the cake. And yet he was a brilliant storyteller. So this takes the mythological elements of Lovecraft and it puts them in a modern setting with a black person as the hero. And I thought, what a perfect testament to the genius of Lovecraft's creative works, while also slapping him in the face for being such a bad racist. And yeah, it was just amazingly written. I've got other books by Victor LaValle on my list that I want to read now because he is just such a great writer, and the story was powerful. So take that for what you will. If it sounds interesting to you, please do pick it up. And that concludes my recommendations for Spooktober. I know it's a short video, but I'm moving. What do you want? Okay? Until my next video, please make sure to subscribe and click the bell so you get notifications. Share with all your friends so they can see my content too. And most importantly, read more books. I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.